Brought to you by Woolworths, as we take a sneak peek inside the pages of this week's edition of the AFL Record, Australia's #1 selling sports weekly. And joining me this week is my AFL media friend and colleague, the Sultan of Swan Street, Callum Twomey.
Hello Ash, good to be on the show.
Our cover story this week looks at Adelaide midfielder Scott Thompson, who plays his 300th game. And Cal, you'd have to say he'd be pretty pleased with the choice to move on from Melbourne.
Well, it was a choice they made a few years ago. Obviously, a really big trade for the Demons and the Crows. The Crows have really nailed that one. They gave up pick 12 for Scott Thompson, essentially as part of a deal where they lost Tyson Stenglein all those years ago to West Coast. It's fair to say that it's been a bit of a win for the Crows in that respect. He's played more than 20 games in 11 of the past 12 years. This will be the 12th time he's been able to achieve that. So durability, clearance work, stoppage work, he's just been a bull for so long and reaches this game in pretty good form as well, averaging 25 touches again this year.
This week also in the mag, footy goes back to Cairns. It's the Bulldogs versus Gold Coast on Saturday night. And the greatest moment in footy in Cairns, of course, is Carmichael Hunt. Yeah,
we can't overlook that moment. I remember watching that one on the telly from Melbourne and just thinking, wow, how good is this? Obviously, Carmichael Hunt probably didn't leave footy in the greatest of terms, but the way he was able to perform that night and kick that goal and seal the win for Gold Coast, probably the moment that the Gold Coast came of age and probably the moment where Richmond decided we wouldn't be selling any more games to that area of the country for extra money because they didn't have a great track record up there at the Tigers, and the Suns really made them pay there.
Now, of course, this could be the last time the Bulldogs play a home game up there. They want to move their games to Ballarat, their sort of excess games. How important is Cairns to the AFL scene?
Well, it's a foothold of other sports, isn't it? Because they don't get much talent out of far north Queensland, the AFL. So I think it's important for them to have a presence up there. Whether that's the Bulldogs, whether that's another club who takes on that mantle in coming seasons, we'll have to wait and see.
But Cairns will play a big part in this year's draft, Cal.
Absolutely. Jack Bowes is probably one of the best players in this year's draft pool. He's a midfielder who was born in Victoria, spent some time here, but obviously moved up to Cairns pretty young and has been an exceptional player over the last couple of years. He's a Gold Coast Academy player, so they'll get first access to him at the end of the year, but I expect him to be a top 5 pick under the bidding system. Really smooth, classy midfielder, known as the Rolls Royce in Queensland. So a star in the making there from Cairns, Jack Bowes.
All right, Cal, so turning to match centre now, and the big game of the round is obviously Thursday night at the SCG, Swans versus the Hawks, and it's a big week for Nick Smith.
Well, he's pretty tough for a Scotch college kid, I'll give him that much. He gets the job on Sirioli most times. He's ex-schoolmate there and generally does pretty well. Rioli's in some good form, played a really good game against Port Adelaide last week, kicked 3 goals, but just been excellent in the past few weeks. Look, Nick Smith, I think, gets the job, but big decisions for John Lamar again, given that Paul Puopolo, Luke Bruce, the really key elements of that forward line for the Hawks.
Who wins the game?
I think the Swans probably win. Sorry to say to you, Ash, but I think the Swans probably win this one. Up at the SCG, they have a really good record there. Obviously, the Bulldogs have gotten there the last couple of times that they've played them there, but I think at the SCG, the Swans might just have the edge. That game and that win against Geelong Dam at Simmons Stadium got to fill them with a lot of confidence.
Turning now to the back half, and Adelaide, Collingwood, Saturday night at Adelaide Oval. The Pies have come good.
Well, that was a surprise. I didn't see that one coming. I don't think anyone saw that win coming against GWS last week, but Travis Cloke was exceptional and really powered him through that win. Travis Cloke's had an ordinary year. I felt a bit sorry for him at times this year. I think he's probably been treated a bit harshly at times. I think he probably might have been given a longer go if the time was over again, but exceptional last week. Contested marking, goals, was just really on song.
And Jesse White, is he now in Collingwood's best 22?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Jesse's ever really produced the great game to make you think that he's a consistent, reliable player. Has his moments and had his moments last week, but the emergence of Darcy Moore, the re-emergence, I guess, of Travis Cloke last week, I'm not sure if Jesse's a regular part of that forward line going forward, but he was definitely good last week.
Can they make the finals?
No, they're not going to make the finals. They're 3 games out, percentage off.
And also in this week's record, Andrew Mackey, 250th game, and Pete Ryan's had a look at that fantastic milestone. Cal, it's been good.
Thanks, Ash. Anytime.
Now to my tips for round 17. Pick 7 last week for a total of 98. The Swans will get the win over the Hawks in a tight one on Thursday night. North Melbourne to win their first game in 5, beating Port Adelaide on Saturday in the twilight game. And St Kilda will once again have the wood over Melbourne, this time by just 1 point, in what should be a good game at Etihad on Sunday afternoon. And now let's have a look at this week's nominees for the Woolworths Mark of the Year competition.
And he drives it long. Danaher! Oh! Maybe that was big!
That's all you want.
Bumps into the goal square. Patton's down there. Ow! Pulls down a ripper.
Oh, that's where he loves it. When he's got the sit.
Happy just to be a bit...
Play it beyond below. He climbed over
top, the 360, and that is a nomination for sure.
Now, most weeks, Jeremy Howe or Paul Piopolo would have been good enough to get the nomination, but of course you can't go past Joe Danaher. If you want to have your say, visit markoftheyear.afl.com.au. So that's it for this week's edition of On The Record. Before we go, don't forget we asked you a few weeks ago to vote for the best brothers of all time in league football. You've had your say, and the results are in this week's copy of the mag. So when you go to the footy for $5, look for the kids in the green jackets and the green coats. Pick up your copy of The Record. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.